Yes, there were men, women, and children. A lot of very, very tired children.
What were they doing in China, generally speaking?
So we did not particularly ask them that. I think it's a mixed bag. I think there are some people who were there visiting and they got caught when the travel restrictions were put in place in China. I think there are some people who were living there or working there. What is important is that they were there in a time period when they may have been exposed to the virus, and that we're working to get them here so we can keep them quarantined and make sure they're healthy.
Some of the evacuees who came off the plane were in wheelchairs. Was that just related to other disabilities and not to like their health state as it relates to coronavirus?
No, so as you can imagine, many people are very tired at the end of a trip, and some people might have natural mobility issues. So whatever measures were taken to get people off the plane, it was just to get them off the plane safely.
Will the families be in rooms together, or is it each person individually?
Yes, families can stay together in housing, and for the most part, that's what we've tried to do. There may be some families that don't all fit in a room, and maybe for some cases, multiple rooms were issued to a family, but no, the housing is not one person to a room. There are small children that need the care of their parents.
I'm sure you would have said, but we heard some unconfirmed reports that some of those who arrived in California or either had symptoms or perhaps tested for coronavirus.
So I've been working really hard today. I've spent many hours in a hangar, and I have not had a chance to check my emails. And so I don't have information on whether there were PUIs or what we call persons of interest that were screened out of California. I feel very confident that if they found anyone who had any concerning health symptoms, that they immediately took them for medical care and screening. So I'm sure that if you're seeing that reported, that's what that's referring to.
Can you go through the process of deplaning, the decontamination of luggage,
So the plane, when it is done, I mean, the plane is still moving on to Nebraska right now, and so after it lands in Nebraska and those passengers are off, it is a privately owned aircraft. I mean, it's a contracted aircraft, and so cleaning procedures are part of that, and it will be thoroughly cleaned and decontaminated. It is not a commercial air carrier. It looked like a cargo plane. I was on it, and it was not. It was not the type of plane that we typically fly on. They were boarding passengers as I came here, so I don't have a time on Wheels Up, but I know that they were actively boarding as I left. Yes, so Travis roughly sorted people as to those who would stay here and those who would go on. And we did end up keeping a few that were meant to go on to Omaha just because they had some mobility issues, and I believe that the housing in Omaha involves stairs. That is a great question. I think it's really important to emphasize that these people have been through a very long and challenging journey, and they're very tired, and they do not come with their normal items for comfort. They're probably feeling very out of place here, and I think they really deserve our empathy. And I know it would be very challenging for me to think about being in a situation where I had to evacuate a place where I was and not know what was going to happen to me. I know that people who are worried about these individuals might want to help them. I think the best thing you can do is reach out to local Red Cross. I know that the Red Cross is connected with our teams who are working with the individuals, and they may be able to identify comfort items or other ways that the community members can support these evacuees to show them good San Antonio hospitality.
What is the age range of the evacuees?
So I still have to go over the manifest, and so I don't actually have the age ranges. I can tell you that there were babies in people's arms, and there were older individuals as well.
If an evacuee becomes sick and is transferred to a local hospital, when and how will that information be shared?
So right now, San Antonio Local Health Department is working on the transfer of any patients that become ill to regional hospital or to a local hospital, and we are not releasing the names of the hospital at this time. I can tell you that if anyone is confirmed with coronavirus, there will be a statement.
Will it involve local medical personnel or personnel from here? And also, the public will wonder, well, are they going to be taking a public hospital? Why expose the public in their mind? Why
So the evacuation operation, JBSA Lackland's contribution to this is primarily lodging and then sort of the logistical support of how to pull all of this off, and they have been absolutely amazing. But the medical care is not part of their mission. The medical care of these individuals is part of CDC's mission. It's our job to protect the safety and health of Americans, and then it's also a local mission. So local San Antonio and the state of Texas are all involved in the public health safety of their citizens. So I think it's important to note that all across America, and San Antonio and Texas are no exception, hospitals are preparing for possible coronavirus cases. You could have any traveler returning and possibly have been exposed if they were in China and particularly in the Hubei province. So while we're taking these extreme precautions here, hospitals all over America are taking their own precautions, and local hospitals know what to do in order to protect against coronavirus. Coronavirus is not like Ebola. Ebola is a very deadly, dangerous pathogen. Coronavirus can kill, but we already know about other coronaviruses. This is a new and emerging virus, but other coronaviruses cause the common cold, some types of the common cold, for example. And we also know that two diseases called severe acute respiratory syndrome, or SARS, and Middle East respiratory syndrome, or MERS, are both caused by coronaviruses. And we've known about those for many years, and we have been studying them. So we can apply what we know from those to this new emerging virus.
What is the greatest concern that you and staff have? Any greatest concern that we're doing?
Well, I know this sounds odd, but right now, I've been given the wrong telephone, and I'm getting the phone calls from everybody who want extra towels in their room. So that's a concern for me. But I think my biggest concern is that these individuals are about to enter a very tough 14-day quarantine period. They don't know what's coming. They don't have the items that they're comfortable with. And it's our job to make sure that they're not only safe, but they're comfortable. And this is not a role that CDC is traditionally engaged in. And so I need to be thinking about things on all levels.
Can you tell us about the kits, the test kits that will be distributed to different laboratories?
So as I mentioned, I've been working all day on this activity, and so I have heard that kits are shipping out from CDC, but I don't have details on timing for what will arrive here in Texas. I will also tell you that just shipping the kits out doesn't mean that a state is actively ready to start testing. They actually have to validate the test in their own laboratory with the personnel who are going to be using it, and that can take a little while. I'm sorry. Can you help call for folks? I have not received any information on patients that may have been evaluated at Travis and may have been taken for medical evaluation. I haven't gotten any information on whether they've tested positive. It would be very surprising to me that a patient who was taken off a plane this morning would already have a positive coronavirus test, because those samples have to be shipped to CDC right now.